Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tabletop. My name is Bob. I'll be your dungeon master for tonight's episode of Curse of Strahd. We are here with episode 6 of our second season. Welcome to everybody in the YouTube chat. We've got Tim, Michelle, Stefano, and Andrew all in the wrong spots. We'll fix that in just a second. How are we doing, everybody? How's it going?
I'm doing great. Just
Nice.
turned 8:43.
Did it?
So
Oh, look at that.
we're
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of 30 seconds off maybe from
Wow.
the guess.
Wow. You know, one thing I'll say is we just talked about this in the open here, but we never try to like game the system with these. It just ends up being whenever we come on. Seems to be about 8:40-ish is your usual start time. 8:40 to 8:45 is kind of like our usual start time. So anytime we get guesses in the chat that we're going to start at 8:43, that seems like a pretty safe bet. Somewhere in that 40 to 45 range. It just so happens that Cam, now a longtime follower and new patron of the channel, has been using this magic 8 ball that has I think it's a D20 inside, right? That's what it was? Yeah. A D20. And so just add 830 plus that. There you go.
Hmm. I feel like it's been 8:43 a lot. How many times has it been 13, Cam? Let us know
Well, you
in
know what they
chat.
say. Lucky 13, right?
And then if it's keep on the Borderlands, add 30 minutes.
Yeah. I don't know why. You know what started, I think, on time or early, or not early, but on time, pretty much? Vecna, Eve of Ruin.
When Barrack and Hieronymus were on.
Mm, sometimes.
Oh
Maybe.
boy.
Maybe. We didn't start on time last week, no?
Oh, who was
We
who
were
was on it
close.
last week that messed it all up?
No,
On
we were,
Vecna?
yeah, we
Me,
started pretty early, didn't we?
you, Steph, uh, Dobby, Andrew,
Stephanie,
and
Stefano, Andrew, and Dasha. But we started relatively early, didn't we?
I think
Maybe
so.
I'm
About
mistaken.
8:43.
Oh, did we? Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
I'm mistaken. I thought we started early. In my mind, sometimes I see the clock and I'm like, yes, we got it. We're good. And then the time slips right through my fingers. But if you're interested in checking out Vec and Eve of Ruin, I do suggest you go to the playlist here on YouTube. We've got 5 chapters now started. The 5th chapter is currently underway, and yes, it does include this guy, Andrew, and that guy, Stefano, and it includes all the people we talked about before, some people you've seen on the channel, all reprising roles they've played before. Links to that maybe we'll put somewhere at some point. But I also wanted to shout out that I was on Esper the Bard's channel this week. We had a really cool series that started. Esper did this thing called the Gauntlet Runner, which is basically a one-on-one, you versus the dungeon. He has some other D&D YouTubers, and he tried to see who can survive this deadly dungeon. You start a first level character. I actually did make the character here on the channel. We did a live stream about a month ago. The chat helped me make the character, so watch that. I put the link in the live chat right now. Don't go this moment, but save it. Put it in your to watch list. Okay, do that and check it out at some point. A lot of other people did it. Professor Dungeon Master from Dungeon Craft, Mark Seifter, who's I think the co-creator of Pathfinder Second Edition, and Baron DeRop, and then also oh man, name is escaping me right now, but Adam from Michelle. You actually played with Adam. He played with us in Escape from Scornhold on Esper's channel. So he's
Yes,
got
Adam
some.
was awesome.
Yeah, so he's got
Mhm.
some people that played the Gauntlet as well as I did. The 5 of us went. See who did it. Stefano's checking out the whole playlist, right?
You bet. Yeah, it was awesome. It's really cool. Wayne's talking
Yeah.
about it.
Oh, is he in the chat? I'm not looking at the live chat right now, but yeah, I should. Yeah, it was fun. Everybody had a different sort of like way of going about it. I think it was interesting. Like you see 5 very different players, I think, play this game. So you know, I'm a little partial to my run. You should check it out. I put the link there, but check them all out. They're really, really fun. And then last update here, obviously we had a long break for Curse of Strahd, but we are back. We are planning on going through March, just to give you a heads up in the schedule. We're going to be going through March till about the middle of March. We're going to take a little break because we're on spring break from school and a little vacation for us all, but then we'll be back April, and we plan to finish out this series strong throughout the rest of the school year or so. And then pretty soon I feel like there's going to be an announcement. I can't make it just this moment, but pretty soon I feel like there's going to be an announcement for another thing going on this summer on the channel, so stay tuned for that. If you want to stay up to date on everything that's going on here, check the links down below for social media, especially Discord. That's where I usually post any channel updates or schedule changes, things like that. And Lord knows that we've been sick and lots of interruptions, so we use the Discord quite a bit to communicate with everybody. The joys of running a live D&D game. So check that out, and then subscribe to the channel, like this video, and do all the YouTube stuff. Comment after the adventure is over, get the algorithm going. The Strahd streams do real nice. We get a lot of followers, but just make sure that everybody gets to see this content by helping out the YouTube gods. All right. So now where to start? What did we do last time, everybody? What did we do? I forget.
Well, I'm into the
Michelle?
dungeon.
No,
Oh yeah.
no icebreaker today.
Well, this is all leading to the icebreaker.
Oh,
To
okay.
the icebreaker here. All right. So, Dione, Michelle, your character has obviously we've known for a while now. You're a werewolf, and we're using some slightly different werewolf rules for this
Yes.
game, and more like a traditional werewolf from maybe like cinema or stories in the past. The full moon is what sparks that lycanthropy in you. You don't have control over it. You can't control. You can't turn into a werewolf whenever you want. You're kind of in your humanoid state until you turn. This happened again last time, but we had it controlled this time. You were in the dungeon of Irwin and Danica at the inn, and they kind of guided you, trying to get you to control that power. And so my question to you all is: this is obviously something we're doing that's like homebrewed. It's like a weird lycanthropy usage. And what's something that you like, a house rule of D&D that you enjoy? And so I'll just kind of talk a little bit more about Dione's thing, because we're doing it now. But think about some of the house rules we've used before, ones that you've liked, things that you may have not even known there were house rules. But we'll talk about it in a minute. So for us, obviously, I'm not going to share everything about the lycanthropy, because some of the things are still, I want to keep a secret. But things that you've probably picked up on so far is that Dione has some sort of natural resistance to magical, or any damage you take, which is different. I don't know, Michelle, actually, I'm not sure how much you know about the lycanthropy as per the D&D rules, but were you familiar with that at all before playing your character now?
Not really. I've never played a lycanthrope or werewolf before. This is my first time, so I definitely learned a lot. Yes, damage resistance on non-silvered attacks, and it's like a whole thing, right?
Yeah, so basically in normal D&D, like D&D 5e, I say normal D&D, but I just mean the current edition we're playing in, not the current edition or any previous one, but in 5th edition 2014 version, the rules are basically, and they changed slightly. Werewolves at the beginning of the edition basically just were immune to any damage that wasn't non-silvered or magical. So like mundane weapons just don't hurt them at all. So it's just possible they just can't get hurt. And then they changed it. They changed it to they get regeneration, but only if you aren't hit by a silvered weapon at that turn or something like that. Or, but, not. It went from being like maybe OP and completely broken for lower level characters, to being almost a non-factor to, anybody that has a silvered weapon. And that felt weird. And so I've never really liked the rules of lycanthropy. So in addition to just the fact that you can cure lycanthropy with just like a paladin can cure a curse, or a cleric could just cast remove curse. So we changed those rules, and that's what I'm not gonna share everything about it, but you have general resistance, and the only thing that bypasses it is silver. And that's what we've kind of you've probably experienced, everybody's seen that so far. Some of the other things we're going to keep hidden. But that's one of my kind of like favorite things about this game, is that we've kind of made it our own, so to speak. Does that make sense? Like our own cool thing.
Oh yeah.
What about the rest of you? What are some of your favorite house rules in D&D or RPGs? Could be anything. What do you think?
Oh, I'll go first. Oh, go ahead.
All right, I have
Yeah, yeah.
I just have a very simple one. I like the bloodied rule.
Ooh, bloodied. Why? Why do you like bloodied?
Because sometimes you've done, 96 hit points of damage, and it's just like, Are we getting close here? So it's I think it's nice to know if you're like halfway done.
Yeah, and you know the only way to like it feels weird, feels gamey. Is like technically you're supposed to take like a medicine check, and that would be your action to like study the
Yeah.
character, the creature. But I think that's weird too. Like I don't typically follow that rule too much. I don't think anybody's really ever even attempted it on the channel because it's like I don't know, some things have weird anatomies and like would you know that it is totally injured? And I think that would just be more of a, you know, you can see how it's changed through the battle. Maybe that would be the way I would describe it. And then
Yeah.
also bloodied also is another way to like give cool abilities. In the new 2024 rules, they have abilities that tie to bloodied, like they used to have in like
interesting.
4th edition. Yeah.
But yeah, I like the idea of like if how's he looking or something like that. Oh, he's looking like he's doing okay or something like that.
I know,
You know?
it's a weird, it's like a fine line, isn't it? But in 2024, yeah, we used bloodied, and that was not a rule. But in 2014, I should say, it came back in 2024. So the house rule has now become the standard yet again, so to speak. But again, what is standard? What is standard?
Sure.
What about you, Tim? What do you got?
Oh, I got to go with I think my favorite house rule that we have on the channel is I think the hit dice or the death dice that are random like the D4. I think just adds a lot more like pressure and the unknown sense of like if someone goes down like they very well could be dead. Where I think in like the normal like rules as written, you kind of know that it's like they're like mostly okay for a minute or two. I can go deal with something else. Where like now it's like no, I need to get that person. Like I need to fix that.
So what Tim is referring to, obviously, is our house rule for the death saves in Keep on the Borderlands, which we kind of pirated a little bit from the hardcore mode 5e, which is you can get that on like I forget it's Drive Through RPG or something like that. But basically, the idea is that you have a death clock, a death timer. The players don't know. It's something the DM rolls in secret. I roll it. It's just for us, it's a D4 plus 1, but you know, anytime you get hit or anything, it takes up one of the, it moves the clock down. So you have anywhere from 2 to 5 rounds, but you don't know. It's kind of simulates death saves, but I think it just adds that more of a, like a ticking clock element. Like, you know, you could roll a 20 on, in theory, in like a death save and you come back to life. You know, so I feel like it takes away, and the players typically know it. I mean, you could hide those rolls, but I think the clock just feels more epic, more like, you know, you got to do something immediately or else you never know.
I concur. And while I got the mic really quick, Cameron McDonald, I saw your comment. I don't have, I'm not doing a master's in history or a graduate degree in history. My undergraduate thesis was on Fiji, which was really annoying to write when I was in Connecticut in the middle of winter. But yeah, no, I'm just collecting degrees like Thanos collects stones. So I've got no idea. I'm a warlock. I sold my soul for arcane knowledge.
That's awesome.
Onward.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. So Tim, yeah, back at school, huh? What is it like?
I just never stop. Like I really feel like if I was a D&D class, warlock is the way to go. I'm not really motivated to learn for the sake of learning like a wizard. I'm certainly not motivated by religion like a paladin or a cleric. I'm not doing it for nature like a druid. I learn because I seek dark arts that I can use to shape the world around me.
Okay. Hey, listen, everybody's got their reason, right? And that's yours. It's totally
Oh, yeah.
fair. Totally fair. What about you, Andrew? What's your favorite house rule that we use or that you've used?
Well, I like the one where instead of rolling initiative for each person, you roll a group initiative. And then it's like the enemies and the group. And whoever goes first, when the group go, you can pick which of your people who haven't gone yet can go that turn. I like that a lot because you can strategize. Like, I'm going to have you go first, and you can cast a spell on me, and I can do this cool thing.
Yeah, we did that
It's a
in
little more
Icewind Dale.
strategic. Right.
Yeah. It was
And
fun. It was
also,
interesting.
It's less like your turn, my turn, your turn, my turn, because it gives you something to think about other than what you're going to do on your turn.
Yeah, I think that there is a almost like a strategy and like a fun almost mini game within choosing the initiative that way.
Right.
It definitely does matter. But the only thing I could say about that is that sometimes it takes a while to figure out the plan, and that is just as cumbersome as rolling and be like, "What'd you all get?" But if you,
I like
if you
it when
practice
people
with
jump in and they're like, "I'm going to go," and they go, and they like mess up completely, and then someone else gets like smashed down or something.
like
find
Joey
that
when
kind of
Joey
amusing.
acted.
Yeah, Joe
Yeah.
was like, "I'm going to kill everyone." They like run and miss. No.
Joey was
Edmund
great
would
in it.
get like
Yeah.
punched.
I'm gonna
Nice.
walk up to the fortress. Hello.
He sauntered. He sauntered. He sauntered to the fortress.
Is
Michelle, what about
anybody
you?
home?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Michelle, what about you? What's your favorite thing we do here?
Yeah, I think my favorite house rule that I've experienced right here on Tabletop, Bob, is for anyone who watched Supernatural 20 back in the day, we had Madness, which I thought was a very cool mechanic. And we would have to do like madness checks or saves, right? We would see horrible, horrible things, and they would leave like scars on our soul if we did not succeed in our save.
Yeah.
And I just like really like the idea of just slowly losing your grip on reality as you go through this like nightmare fuel horror landscape. It kind of reminds me of like Don't Starve, if anyone has played that game. You
Oh,
just like
no.
lose sanity over time and you have to recover it. Otherwise, like your character is unplayable and you're just like lost to the world in your own little psychotic break. So I thought that was really cool. And Bob, you did great work kind of coming up with that whole like system of rules.
Thank you. Thank you.
And yeah,
I loved the madness that we created in that game, and you know, I would adapt it if we were to do it something with madness again, because I've played now a bunch of Call of Cthulhu, and the Call of Cthulhu books all have tons of madness charts. Like there's this general one in the DM's book or the player's book, I forget which one, and then they have like whatever module you're in usually includes its own unique madness table to that module. So I feel like if I were to adapt it, I would probably steal everything from that. It's a fun system as well.
very cool.
I just love scary stuff. I love horror movies, scary things that can make you go mad. Kind of like
Yes.
Barovia. Wouldn't you agree?
Nice
Kinda like
segue.
Barovia.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people ask, how do I do it? Bob, how do you do it every day? This new segue. How do you do it? I don't know. It comes to me. It comes to me. Let's get some mood setting here with the music. Let me know if you could hear it. Coming in. There it is. Oh yeah, I hear some screams. Let me know, everybody, if you could hear this. I don't know if you could hear it, but so last time we played, Dione went through that trial to try to attune to the lunar charm that was given to them by Erwin and Danica. They are, of course, keepers of the feather, which means that they are were-ravens. They have explicitly told you that they are a sort of like a counter force to Strahd. They live amongst the lands of Barovia, hiding in plain sight as ravens, and they try to, counter his plots at every turn. Of course, now it doesn't always mean that they've got everything covered. As you can see, Strahd's pretty much winning at this point, but they do try to be the force for good here in the lands. And they're were-ravens. They have control over their lycanthropy. And you've also met, I believe, werewolves. I think you've met werewolves, correct? Have we not? No, you did. Yes, Andrew and Laurent met a werewolf at the lake.
We fed that unpleasant man to them.
Yeah, back in like the middle of season 1 when you first arrived in Vallaki. The werewolves here in the land also seem to have somewhat control over their lycanthropy. So this is not just a keepers of the feather thing. However, Dione, obviously from where you come from, this has been more of a curse than anything else. And this was maybe an attempt to get you to control the beast from within. Erwin was super excited and like he thought you were going to master this. He's done this before. He's gone through this himself. He was certain that you were going to succeed. And you had some excellent roleplay, Michelle, I will say. I think, do we all agree? Roleplay by Michelle was stellar that night.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
But Dione failed. She turned into the werewolf. She lost control and could not tame the beast. We were so close to making it too with that last check, but alas, you have failed, and the curse is not lifted. Erwin is just about to take everybody back upstairs when Rufus had a telling moment. Do you want to summarize Rufus's thoughts, Andrew, right at the end again? I know that we talked about it last time, but what was Rufus's thoughts of Dione's failure?
So he looked back, and he looked at her as a wolf form, and he just felt so disgusted. Like such a horrible thing. And then he heard about some of the stuff that had happened earlier in her life, which he thought was really, really awful. How she'd kind of let down everyone that she'd loved.
Mm.
And then he really started to wonder, because Rufus is path of glory, he thinks we're on this glorious quest together with fated companions. He started to wonder if she was a fated companion or not.
Oh.
Or maybe she was one of the people that he was sent to destroy.
Yeah.
Maybe not
Yeah.
that extreme yet, but there's a little seed of doubt.
Definitely the seeds have been planted. Yeah, and I think you've got seeds of doubt against almost everybody in the party, right? Obviously, Laurent.
Well, I don't know so much.
No?
I mean, they don't.
Okay.
They're not up to the standard of people from the Gwaindire, but what can you expect of foreigners?
It's true. But that was the end of the episode. The episode started, though, with you liberating the orphanage. You killed Madame Vermeer, who seemed to have some sort of dark pact with some connection either to the entities that have dealt with Strahd in the past. There was some altar from the Amber that looked like it was from the Amber Temple in the basement. There's some sort of connection here. She had some tie-in. You're not quite sure, but it was off-putting to say the least. And you've left Angelica and Yulia to run the orphanage, and they seem to be getting along swimmingly. So the kids, you feel, for the time being, are in good hands. And that's where we'll pick it up from the end of the ceremony, the end of the ritual. Dione, you're flailing about in the chains, and the door closes. The rest of the group heads upstairs back into the closed tavern. You can sit down at either the bar or at one of the tables, but Erwin immediately looks to you all and apologizes. I'm sorry for feeling so overconfident. I've done this ritual before with many of my clan, and it's never been an issue before. She must have some real demons inside her.
Erwin, there's no need to apologize. You did your best, and I was overconfident as well. But you're right. It seems that Dione maybe isn't ready.
It is shocking. Disappointing. Why did you think she could not control it like all the other keepers of the feather?
Hard to say. All my years with this curse, it's been a family thing. My father passed it down to me, and so on. It's been something that we've been raised in. It's normal for us. It sounds like, based on the things that she shouted down there, that this is relatively new. Her mother passed it on to her, but always hid it. Never confronted it. Never had to confront it, or at least have been ashamed of it. I think that there's more in her psyche that we have to uncover. Either that, or it's just a different nature where you come from. I'm not quite sure. You say that you come from this place called the Gwaindire. What is it like there? Do they have lycanthropes like us?
Well, we have had problems with wolves and other canines. Certainly we have them, but lycanthropes, no, I do not remember having we told stories of them, but not in real life, no. It's a peaceful land.
Danica says, well, if you want to use the lunar charm on the next full moon, you can. She has it around her neck still. We'll keep it. You should keep it. I don't think there's any reason that she can't overcome this, but we may not be there the next time. I assume you're to leave Vallaki soon? Or at least that's what we seem to believe Yevgeny thinks.
That was our plans. But
First thing in the morning.
Tell us, how would we do it next time? Would you have to teach us how to attempt it?
I think it's all up to Dione herself, but as I mentioned, and this is Erwin speaking now, as I mentioned in our ritual, it's all about taming that beast from within. I think you could manage it, Rufus. He goes over to you and he says, you did well in there. You inspired her. The rest of you, all of you, you encouraged her so much. I feel like we were on the precipice of gaining control. Just be there for her. Whatever comes to her mind, whatever she presents to you out loud, go with it.
Yes, perhaps this is a task that I am fated to lead. Perhaps that is why it did not work, because I did not play a central role.
He chuckles at that. He says, well, maybe in the Gwaindire, Rufus, you are the central figure, but here in Barovia, we're all just pawns.
No,
He looks to his wife.
No, I am fated. We are a fated party to bring peace to this land. Make it.
Oh, is that
like the
so?
Gwaindire.
Danica says. Is that so? What makes you believe this?
The Gwain Lord has sent me here to help you. Why else would I be here?
And you as well, Canas, Laurent?
I don't know if I believe in the Gwaindire Lord or the Gwaindires sent me anywhere, but if we truly are a fated party, this fated party includes Dione. With or without the Moonlight Pendant, she's coming with us.
You can keep the pendant. The lunar charm is hers to keep. She would have kept it if she had been successful anyway. My family has many of these stones. Attuning to them is the trick. They're useless otherwise. So please, let her attune to it. Now,
Do you have any way of restraining her if she cannot? If we're in the wilds and she cannot control herself?
we can provide you manacles, but in the wilds, there may not be as safe a place to do it. You might think that there be a strong tree, something to restrain her to, but you'd be surprised to the cunning of the beast within. Be careful.
We've made it this far. What's another 28 days?
Well, the days do not necessarily follow like that in this place. Sometimes I've seen that it's quicker for the moon to come around. Would you have any? Would you have any silvered weapons in case the worst comes to it? We could take with us.
As you can probably guess, we don't keep too many silvered items around.
Well, I don't think we'll need them. I'm sure that we can cure her.
Even their silverware is made of what are they? They have wood forks here at the inn. Just kidding. I'm sure they've got silverware. They can touch silver. They just can't, like,
Right.
cut them.
Stab it into themselves.
It would hurt them. Yeah, exactly. Danica says, now on to more pressing matters. There's something that I think Erwin and I want to discuss with you. As you know, we are keepers of the feather. We try to spy on what the devil is doing here in Barovia. We keep contacts throughout the lands. We have ravens everywhere. I'm sure you've seen them. I think
Yes.
that there's an opportunity here. And
Of
you
course.
have started it. There's a movement
course.
brewing. Are you aware of this?
That's what I just said. We are fated.
There's a
Please tell
movement.
us. Please tell us about the movement.
People here in Vallaki they're not content with the way things have gone for the last generation or so. The Baron Valakovich kept everybody here relatively safe, but yet again, not really a life to live. And then you came here, and all hell broke loose. Erwin picks up the conversation and says, in addition, you are seen to many of the people here that witnessed your heroics during the ceremony as some sort of vigilantes, almost like revolutionaries. There are people talking amongst the streets that you were here to free these people. However, now, in the past month or so since you've left, and the Wachterhouse has taken control, people are upset once again. I'm certain that Lady Wachter is an agent of Strahd herself. I don't think this is too much of a secret from anyone who would know her. But it seems like you have grown familiar with her, and I have to ask, why?
Well, we did save her sons from...
Oh, Carl and Nikolai are just drunken bastards who walk around this place like they own it.
They are fools. But that is how we were introduced.
Are you aware that the rumors are that she murdered her husband?
I have not heard such things.
Danica says, and we're almost certain that Strahd himself is using her as sort of the steward of this town. She's in league with him. We know that you are opposed to him completely. And she looks at Irina, naturally. Why help the Wachters? I'm confused.
Sometimes it comes down to the lesser of two evils. And we made a choice, and they were both evil. But certainly, this town has the possibility and the capability of righting that wrong if they see fit.
Yes, I believe, though, that we just simply need to prompt the people. We need evidence. We need to expose the Wachterhouse that she has, perhaps in a way, let Strahd in. That night, about a month ago, the night of the Festival of the Blazing Sun, will not be forgotten in the minds of these Valachians the rest of their lives. Certainly, those that can remember it. I think we need to use this opportunity. There's no way that any of my Keepers of the Feather could find their way into her home, but you have access to her home. You've been there. We've seen you go in there. If you truly want to help Vallaki, I think you need to go and uncover some of the Wachter's dirty secrets. Can you do this for us?
How will we uncover secrets from going in our home? It's just a home. I mean,
her home is everything to her. The Wachterhouse itself is said to be sort of this headquarters, so to speak, for the government right now. The Baron's house is deserted. Everything runs out of her home. If there's any sort of documents or any evidence that she is aiding Strahd, the people will turn on her.
did we tell you what we saw at the orphanage?
Remind me, and this is Bob speaking, did you ever tell them anything about the orphanage? I don't remember.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. No.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking if anything, maybe you've talked about how you got Anna from the orphanage, but like that doesn't even... no, and even when Laurent killed Milovage outside of the tavern, he wasn't from the orphanage, so no, I don't think they would have known. No.
Well, we can tell them that then. Before we came here tonight, we had been to the orphanage. We have uncovered a secret room underneath the shed in the garden, where children are tortured, sacrificed to some demon god. We followed up, and Lady Vermeer was behind this. We had to exterminate her and the chef.
When?
Just now. Brodomir, he was in on it too, but he repented. We let him go back to his brother.
That's what all the commotion was. My ravens saw that there was a fire started in the orphanage, but it looks like everything had been contained.
Yes, Vermeer was a powerful sorcerer of some kind, and she set the fire and her death froze. We had to put it out.
So you've been busy workers here.
Look at this knife I took from her. I show him the dagger.
Oh,
The
my
curved
word.
dagger. Look at the curve. Feel it. Feel its evil.
He grabs it, and he does. He's like, oh, I do. I sense something in this dagger. It must have been crafted by some sort of evil artificer.
It's been steeped in evil. It's been used to torment children.
So then you'll help us. You'll go undercover, find some sort of damning evidence. If we can reveal this, the town may rebel on its own.
But we're to leave tomorrow. We're going to meet Lufgeni. What do you think, Canas, Laurent?
Well, if we were to do this, we'd have to do it tonight. But as you know, we just released Brodimir, and he went straight to the Wachterhouse. So I don't know what he's going to be saying about us.
We could go and tell them about the boy. What was the name of
Victor.
the psychotic child? Yes, Victor.
Yes, that was something we were considering.
Danica says, you saved Brodomir's life from the fire?
Yes.
He was not involved in the fire.
Oh, well then you saved him in some other way?
We didn't kill him.
Ah, so he was in on whatever dark arts Lady Vermeer was doing.
He
Yes.
sincerely seemed to be afraid of her.
Ah, well then, perhaps this is your ticket. You can use this, you can explain to the Wachters that something foul was going on, and even if they were a part of it, I'm sure she won't reveal her hand. You could go there, explain this to her, and then find something. And Erwin
Perhaps
says,
you're right.
if you're comfortable with this, it would, without a doubt, set these people on a path toward freedom. Something they have not had in a long time. Self-rule.
Before we go, start another coup d'etat. And don't get me wrong, I love a coup d'etat. Who's going to take over? Who do you
don't need
propose
to-
leads?
You don't need to kill Lady Wachter. That's not what we're suggesting. I wouldn't want you to be run out of town if that went afoul. All we need is some damning evidence that she's in league with the devil. If we can present this to the people anonymously, then perhaps the people will decide their fate. Isn't that what you all would have wanted anyway? Do you want to be the leaders of Vallaki? I don't think so.
No, but I would like to see a safe Vallaki. We have been in this place a very long time, and I have grown to care about its well-being.
It's our home, Danica says.
A safe Vallaki needs steady governance too. Before we overthrow one government, we need to make sure there's another one in place.
The Keepers of the Feather will try to work our methods behind the scenes.
You see, that's my concern, is that now this feels like a power play.
But we don't seek power. We only seek to counter the devil. There will be no Keeper of the Feather as the burgomaster of Vallaki. That I can guarantee you. We work best when we are not seen. Now, you all need to rest. It's been a taxing night on all of us. Dione should come to by sunlight. And if you're going to leave Vallaki, then meet Yevgeny and be gone. But if you care about the people, if you care about fighting Strahd, then I suggest you help us on this mission. It will make the people safer. And if there's any sort of way that we can help you, please ask. And Erwin looks to his wife and kind of like motions. If you want, Yevgeny can have a long, steady breakfast and lunch here. We can always make him very comfortable.
Well, Dione will need some time to recover anyway after she turns back.
I think it's best to
At dawn, we'll make sure that she's composed, well together. We'll give her food and get her back on her feet.
best to sleep on it tonight, and then in the morning when all four of us are feeling up for it, then we can decide as a quorum whether we have the time to visit Lady Vactor and her associates, or we should be leaving town right away.
All right, let's do it. Take a long rest.
Yep.
Okay, great. All right. By the way, everybody, Xander Cartwright in the chat tonight is on fire. I wouldn't normally say that based on his, his demeanor and tone and rudeness, but tonight he's on fire. Well done, Xander. Good job, everybody. Xander said at the beginning, which made me chuckle. What does he say here? When we were talking about house rules, he said, "Bring back encumbrance." That's like the worst.
Get out of
rule.
here.
The worst rule.
Get out of here.
But like such a Xander Cartwright comment, wouldn't you agree, Tim?
I mean, like, yes, that's something Xander would absolutely say.
Yeah, such a Xander. Yeah. All right.
Like a personal
everybody.
foil to everything I stand for.
I know. All right, Michelle, Dione,
Yes.
you wake up. You were in a deep, deep sleep at this point. The door opens. Light from the tavern room above streams in. Sunlight. It is just past dawn. You can sense it. You're there in your tattered clothing. Your chains are loose around your neck and hands now. And Danica comes to you. She gives you a fresh set of clothes and helps you out of the chains, gets dressed, things like that. Gives you some broth, maybe even just some tea or coffee.
I
some
arrange my beard so that I can change my clothing while remaining modest. My beard covers up. Yeah.
Does it? Your beard covers?
Oh yeah, it's like a long, luscious, majestic beard that just like flows down over my little body. So yes, it's like a curtain from my chin.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. Yeah. So she gets you some breakfast, some caffeine. And she says to you, "How are you feeling there, little one?"
Before we go into it, how much do I remember of what happened the night before?
I'll let you decide. I mean, once you turn into a lycanthrope, all your memories are probably super hazy. Prior to it, though, it would probably be like, when you have like you're kind of going through like maybe like a bad fever, right? Like where you're just in pain and like high fever, so it might be a little delirious, but you kind of remember what happened. I mean, I don't think you would lose those memories, but once you turned, certainly
Fair.
that would be lost.
Okay. Okay, so she says, "How you doing, little one?" I clutch my head. I feel terrible. Like there was a fever dream. My friends, they tried to help, but nothing could get through. The demons were too much. And I clutch my head and I bow my head, just kind of, I just relive the moment, and my face crunches up in pain.
There's no shame in what happened last night. It takes quite a lot to master the beast from within. She points to the lunar charm. She says, "This is not what controls the beast." And then she taps you on the, well, I guess you got to get through the beard, but she taps you right here on the chest. She says, "It's in here that tames it.
Oh.
You just need more practice. This is new to you. And I'm certain that it happens to everyone. It hasn't happened to anyone I know in my entire lifetime, but I'm sure it happens to other lycanthropes that aren't in this family that we are part of."
So you think there's still hope for me?
Without
I
a
thought-
doubt.
Oh. Dione like clutches her chest in relief. She sighs. Her whole demeanor relaxes. I thought this was my only chance. I thought I had only one opportunity to beat the curse. Oh, thank God.
She says, there. Look, you've had a very difficult day. And before we go up there, I'm just going to give you a quick preface to the discussion that we had last night. I think
Yes.
there's more to be done here in Vallaki, but it's up to you and your companions. When you go up there, take the morning, decide what you'd like to do. If you want to leave Vallaki, I would be understanding of it. If you would like to stay here and help us on one last quest, by all means. We're here for you.
Personally, I would be so happy to help. Of course, I must speak with my, who knows if they are still my friends, but we must speak before coming to a decision. But I am eternally grateful for your help in this process, for giving me hope that perhaps I can turn my life around. So for me, I would be happy to help. Of course, we will speak and get back to you.
Come, upstairs. We can all discuss.
Of course.
And so she'll,
Dione shakes herself off and brushes off the last little specks of dungeon grime, follows upstairs.
she'll head upstairs with you, and you can see it's like I said, just after dawn at this point. So it's very early in the morning. There is no one really at the inn just yet, although it does look like it is open for business. Dione comes into the tavern. You've all been sleeping here. I assume you didn't want to leave Dione here, but you all are up at this point. Camilla and Irina are sitting at the table with all of you. You're eating breakfast, and Dione comes into the room. She looks much better than you had thought. She has new clothes, and looks like she got kind of prepped to meet all of you up here. So she's ready, but you can discuss. You see her come over. What does Dione look like as she approaches the table?
Oh, well, Dione is kind of feeling nervous. So her body language is not as robust and chest forward. She's more kind of hunched a little bit, not really meeting her party members' gazes, especially Rufus. She's avoiding Rufus's gaze a lot, looking more towards Canas and Laurent, hopefully, looking for a sympathetic friend.
Definitely a sympathetic look from Laurent. If black coffee is an option, black coffee is the Laurent is not a morning person, but certainly a sympathetic raised mug. And
Sure.
Who among us doesn't have their demons? Look,
Dione, how are you feeling?
A little worse for the wear, as you can imagine, but better. And I think I remember you trying to help me yesterday. It feels like a fever dream, but I remember. Thank you. I am
Yes.
so grateful.
Yes, well, Dione, we have learned that every moon we can try to attune. Next
Yes.
time, I will take personal charge of the ceremony, and we will be successful.
we are fated allies. It is destiny that we figure this out.
Thank
Yes.
you, my friends. Thank you. Oh, sorry, Canas. Or
Yeah,
Stefano.
I'm just like, this guy is just saying this.
You should have
Yes.
heard him last night.
When by the way, when Rufus says the thing I will take charge, we will be successful, Dione's eyes widen a bit and she kind of recoils, that makes her a little nervous. But in the end, thank you, my friends. I appreciate it. And yes, I was so relieved to learn that there will be more chances in the future. It was not our only opportunity. I'm so glad. And thank you for standing by me, even though you know the deepest, darkest parts of my story. Thank you. And she just bows her little head in gratitude towards all of you, individually.
Camilla says, "Oh, no sweat, Dione. I was getting a little worried, though. I never seen something like that before. I've only heard about werewolves. Remember, most of my life has been cooped up in this old town. By the way, you don't think you're getting rid of me that easily, do you, Rufus? I
Well,
talked
have
to
you-
Irina last night, and I'm coming with you.
You've pondered the decision.
I have, and I'm coming with you guys. I'm not leaving
You-
here. I'm not leaving you guys.
You
I gotta see
realize
this to the very end.
the extreme danger of the mission we're on.
That's right. But now that Anna's got somewhere safe, I feel good about leaving Vallaki.
Have you
Shouldn't
spoken
we-
with Anna about your decision?
No, not yet, because we haven't left here yet. But before we go, yeah, I'll stop by the orphanage.
Maybe sooner than later. We're leaving almost right now, so it's crazy you haven't said anything yet. Actually,
The door opens. You can hear a little bell go off as a customer enters in, and it's Yevgeny. And he says, I've been waiting at the gate for a half hour now.
Camilla, we gotta leave you behind. Sorry, you better go talk about your sister.
Where have you all been?
We've been here. In fact, we're glad you're here.
You said before dawn, meet at the west gate.
Is that what we said?
Yes, we agreed to this.
I
We-
thought you said
You
the
give me
Weiss gate.
Zoldar's body, I bring it to his wife, and then the following day we meet at the gate.
Yes, of course. But listen, Erwin, haven't you prepared a special meal for your good friend before he leaves on his voyage?
Yes, Evgeny, they decided they want to leave a little later in the day. He looks to all of you like, is that okay? Like he's not sure. You haven't discussed it yet, but he's like they want to leave a little later in the day, and so they have paid all expenses for you to have a hero's breakfast. And he's like,
A
to
hero's
Danica-
feast, in fact.
He's like,
perhaps.
he's snapping his fingers. Danica, the food. And she's like, oh, right. She goes into the kitchen, brings out plate after plate of food. And there's more of that coming. And he looks at all of you a little confused, like, is this true? You want Yevgeny to wait here?
Yes.
Irina says, maybe we should all have a quick huddle up, and moves over to the corner of the tavern.
Well, what do
Bring
you think,
my-
friend?
Mug of coffee. I think if it's quick, if we can get out of here before noon, it's worth at least doing a walkthrough in the Wachterhouse, seeing if we can find some quick evidence. We don't have time for a full investigation, but
Yes. Yes, I would like to help.
I
It
feel
will
this
not
is-
take too long, I think.
it gives Camilla time to say goodbye to her wretched little spawn of a sister.
we can go. I feel it's a bit of a fool's errand, but whatever.
Whatever indeed. Let's head out.
Irina says, I'll take Camilla to the orphanage. You go in and see if you can gather any information. If there's none to be had, then there's none to be had. Then you take a quick look and leave. And then we'll be on our way to Kresk. And as she
Perhaps
says
we
it,
can-
you can see hope in her eyes as Irina desperately wants to leave this place.
Perhaps we can get some money out of that. Talking about what was the name of the boy, Victor or some such.
Victor.
We can get the 100 gold coins, tell her where he is. She can deal with him if we don't deal with her.
I feel we should also maybe take Urban's advice and mention the horrors that were happening in the orphanage.
Yes, yes. Canas, perhaps you could lead the discussion.
Very well.
Irina takes Camilla out of there. She goes back. Camilla was still at the table. She didn't join the group. She was still eating. But Irina says, I'll take her now. We'll meet back here in a few hours. And what happens if things go wrong? What happens if you are in over your heads and there's something wrong? You'll need somebody to come help you. I can do that.
Don't worry, we'll be completely fine. These Wagner's are nothing.
Okay. She nods. All right. Well, then, see you soon. And she heads off with Camilla. They leave the tavern. Do you want to head over to the Wachterhouse now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can see Evgeny's loving the service he's getting. First class service here at the Blue Water Inn. And he says, I see you soon. Very soon. And then we leave. All right. Let's head
Okay,
over-
bon app.
Ah, yes. Cheers.
Hmm.
And let's jump to roll 20. Okay. I believe that everything is set. Just making sure. Looks good, looks good. All right, here we go. Let's turn to the page. Now, you have been to the Wachterhouse before. But I think it's going to be important to use the VTT for this. Because we're going to be maybe in I don't know what your plan is exactly. You can discuss this on your way over. But I think that there might be good if we have a visual representation of the layout. You know a little bit about the layout because you've been here before. You know that through the front door, there's a parlor and a sitting room to the left. There's actually two places. You met her once when you talked about her wanting you to kill Ezek. You met in her parlor, which was more of a private room. And there's also a lounge, which is more of a common area. You've met her there as well when you brought the body of... no, that was the same time. When you came here last to discuss her new role as sort of a de facto leader, you were in the lounge area. So you know, as you walk in to the left, there's those two rooms. There's a kitchen, dining room, things like that as well. And I think one of you went upstairs, and I think, who was that? Was that Tim?
That was me.
Oh, it was you, Dione. Okay. You went up the stairs, and one of the bedrooms had the young girl meowing and acting like a cat.
Yeah, asking to, open the door. The cat wants to get out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess like before we step in, Dione would probably hurriedly whisper that to the other three, just like, upstairs, I heard a strange voice. Don't listen to it. And to just like warn them.
You've got
Okay.
time, actually, because you're walking over there now, so you can discuss anything encounter now.
Oh, perfect.
So feel free.
Okay. Last time we were here, I went upstairs. I asked to use the restroom, and I heard a strange voice, like a little girl. She was asking me, please open the door. The cat wants to get out.
Yes, Victor told us about that. The child that he made tormented.
I
Now
don't...
she thinks she's a cat.
Yes. So, just be forewarned that we may hear strange things in this house. I did not open the door last time. I don't know what would have happened if I did.
Anything else to prep before you get to the house on the way there?
This is where Brodomir went after he left the orphanage, right?
Exactly. Who followed him? Dione?
Downey followed him as far as you can see him.
Yeah.
He went through the front door and embraced with his brother Ernst, and they went inside. That's the last thing you saw of him.
So,
Correct.
Canas, to be straight, we're going to tell him about Victor where he is. Ask for the gold. We're going to get the gold. And then will we tell them about the orphanage?
I think
assume
start with
they
the
know.
orphanage.
You would start with the orphanage.
Yeah.
What gold? What are you talking about? Gold? She promised you something for Victor?
There was a
Bounty.
reward for Victor, 100 gold coins.
That's right. She didn't
Is that
promise
what it
you that.
was?
That was just out in the public,
Yep.
right? Yeah. Yeah. I thought you meant she had promised you something. Gotcha. Okay. So you want to go in, talk to her about the orphanage, tell her about Victor. Now, who's going to be looking for something? Or how are you going to be finding evidence that damns her?
That's a good question.
If you want, you could just think on your feet. That's totally the way this party rolls sometimes. if you want to plan that out, just do it before you get in, because I don't want to get in and then you have to have conversations that aren't like, obviously in earshot. So.
Does anyone have invisibility or anything?
I've got disguise self, so I can certainly change my appearance to look like a random villager, but then we have to explain why this random villager has joined the party. I can be Evgeny.
Yune is invisible, but Yune is not with us.
I have invisibility.
Where is Yune?
I don't know. Ever since you made me revive Yune and lose hit points, Yune has not been hanging around.
No, Yune was there at the night of the orphanage.
At the very end, and Yune kind of flew in.
Yeah, because I think if I'm not mistaken, you told Yune to like keep watch or something or be outside. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I remember Yune was.
No, I don't. I think Yune was back at the house the entire time.
Did Yune bring Camilla back to the house, and that's why?
Yeah.
So then it would make sense that
I'm right here.
Oh, well, a good thing.
I'm the angel on your shoulder.
As you can see, or cannot see, perhaps Yune can be of some help for the stealth.
It's me. I'm here.
Yune, if anyone catches any sort of wind that you are an invisible creature flying around this person's home, I want you to fly out the window or fly up the chimney or something. Just get out.
Of course. Why would I ever put myself or the group in danger?
Of course you wouldn't. And then you'll just head right to the Blue Water Inn.
Right to the Blue Water.
Okay. So
whatever you need, Canas, I'm here for you.
Should I also cast Disguise Self then and go in as Evgeny and do a little bit of poking around? Or is somebody just an innocuous random village person?
A village person?
I do have invisibility.
That might be better.
I can make you invisible if you want. I feel like the Dwargar is really nice for this. I have reduce or enlarge and reduce, so I could make myself very, very small.
Yeah, I feel like you might be the stealthier.
I thought you could go invisible. I thought that was like a trait.
Yes, I have invisibility. I also have Mage Hand, but like the Ledger Domain, I think, so it's like invisible. We got some stealthy things up our sleeves.
Seems like you might be the best person to do the snooping around then.
I believe that we have just established that. Thank you, Dione, for volunteering.
Oh, of course. Happy to help. And
crazy. Who would have thought the rogue would be sneaky?
Okay. So then I guess I'll step to the side. Like I'll flatten myself against the outside wall right next to the door and then just like go ahead and cast invisibility on myself. Hopefully nobody inside the house saw me outside talking to the other guys.
No, we're gonna say that this. I mean, it's a decent distance, right? So you're having this conversation sort of like as you're walking. Nobody would have. You're not like at the front door being like, all right, so I go in first, you go in.
What evidence are we looking for, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
All right, cool. Then I guess once we get like close enough, where like we're close but not within eyesight of anyone potentially like looking out the window. At that point, I'll cast invisibility, so it looks like just the three of them walking up without me.
And
Okay,
look for
perfect.
something physical, Dione. Something we can take back. Word
A
alone
ledger,
may not be
a
enough.
record, letters.
Okay. I think perhaps any documentation, anything with the seal of Strahd, any emblems or writing. I will look for this kind of thing.
Okay, perfect.
Or even
And
some
Yune-
evidential knowledge of what was going on in the orphanage. When we spoke to Madame from... were we all there when we spoke to Madame Fromere? Sorry, and Madame Fromere was saying, like, oh, don't worry about Lady Vactor. Like, we're cool. It's fine.
The first time you went there, it was just you and Dione.
Okay.
So I
I'm
don't know.
thinking
Everybody
about,
was.
and this is the first time after she took over.
Madame Vermeer?
No, after. No, I'm talking about when we spoke to Lady Vactor after she kind of took control of Vallaki.
No,
And
we've seen her since.
We've mentioned to her
Mhm.
what was going on in the orphanage and that we wanted to get rid of Madame Vermeer, and she was like,
and she said Lady Vermeer is fine.
yeah.
Yeah, she has said that before. Yeah, and you were all there for that.
Mm-hmm. And I remember getting a little heated about it, and it was like not great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're right, and certainly that would be something to be careful of when a conversation, not to like give away that you're totally against her in some sort of way. All right. So the plan is Dione will go in, and Yune is also invisible, so Yune could, follow Dione and
I think Yune's gonna go with Dione, and Yune can speak with me telepathically.
Yeah, the only problem I have is, can Yune see invisible creatures? No, right?
Right. If we're both invisible, do we like
point.
know where each other?
Wait, Yune is
like...
no.
I don't think imps have true sight. That would be like crazy.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would, then you wouldn't have given me an imp.
That'd be crazy.
Well, they should split it up anyway. Cover more area.
Well,
The comedy duo.
They should split up. I think they should split up.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is fine.
All right. This is going to work out just great. All right.
I was gonna say
Nothing's going to go wrong.
Nothing is going to go wrong here.
But I'm going to bring my shield as well,
Yeah.
just in case.
All right. So you head to the house, this sullen old house that actually groans every time you get near it. The door opens as you approach, actually. You don't even need to knock on the door. The door opens. And you see Ernst Lernack at the door. I'm going to open it for you, but you can see Ernst. There is no good token. It's just the token for Ernst, so just ignore that. It doesn't look like him. It's a stock token. Actually, maybe I have a better token for Ernst, but we'll come back. And Ernst opens the door, and you've encountered Ernst before, but you haven't had a conversation with the guy. But he looks at you, and he certainly doesn't look upset with you. In fact, if anything, he looks happy to see you. And he says, the heroes. Can I help you with anything?
Yes. Is Lady Vactor home?
Unfortunately, Lady Vactor has stepped out. She should be back soon.
Is your brother here?
My brother? Why, no, he's not here at the moment. Why would you ask for my brother?
We were wondering if he made it safely back to you.
Safely?
Oh, yes.
Is there some danger he was in?
Yes, we were a little concerned about his job in the orphanage. Did he come by recently?
Dreadful fire. Apparently, Madame Vermeer lost her life in the fire.
Yes, that's what I heard.
Truly tragic times that we're living in, wouldn't you agree?
Is he all right?
Oh, my brother? In perfect health. Just a bit shaken up. Good thing you were there to help put out the fire. That's what all the townsfolk are saying.
Could we perhaps come in and wait for Madame Vermeer? For Lady Wagner?
I don't see why not.
Oh, thank
Please.
you very much.
Walk this way. And he walks inside the house. You can follow him, move your tokens. Straight ahead, you can see the stairwell that leads upstairs. To the left, you can see the dining room, the lounge where you met with Lady Vactor, the second time, the most recent time you were in this lounge area. However, you've had meetings with her in the parlor. He says, "Is this a business nature? Should you be meeting in her parlor, or would you like to wait here?"
It is business. We have some information for him.
He scans you. "Is there something this is in relation to when she arrives? Should I prepare her for anything?"
You can say we have spoken to the young man Victor that she is looking for.
His eyes go wide. "Victor, you've uncovered the boy?
We have.
Is he in your possession?" He gets very serious.
No.
He gets a little let down. "Oh, well then." By the way, give me a I think there's some sort of deception here. I know that technically it's true you know where he is. You're trying to keep your cool. Give me a deception check. Before Andrew, you can take it with advantage because Stefano has been helping you.
Let me roll it again. You said deception, right?
Or we could just take Stefano's if he rolled it as well. I know he rolled high. I didn't want to take away from you, Stefano.
Sure.
Even the roll itself is still pretty high, 15, so even if we used Andrew's, pretty good. He says, "Well, what a shame. What a devilish boy he was. Come to the parlor. You can wait in here. I'll bring you refreshments." And you can see he looks almost like too happy to welcome you into the home. "The parlor, here, please, come." This is the parlor room to the left.
Okay.
Yeah. This is the room that Laurent and Dione, I believe, made the deal about killing Ezek.
Yes.
Yeah, and this is the room that you just had a quick meeting about her being the new leader of the town. De facto leader, unofficial leader. Canas, will you be joining us in the parlor?
Oh, yes, of course.
All right. And
If I could find it.
right here.
Here we go.
Dione, do you want to go in the parlor or do you want to be outside?
It depends. Like, are there documents? Like, what is the vibe? Is it like an office type of parlor or is it an entertainment parlor? Like,
It's not an office, no. Mm-mm.
Okay.
You've been in here, so you would know that.
gotcha. Okay, then in that case, I do not go into the parlor.
The only thing the parlor has is it's a more private room, like it's a closed room, whereas the lounge is out in the open.
Okay.
All right.
Perfect.
That's the only difference.
I'm going to tell Yune to check upstairs.
Excuse me, Ernst. How long do you think we'll be waiting in this parlor?
She left early this morning. She should be back soon. I'm sure no more than half an hour or so.
So you say we have half an hour to wait?
Maybe less, he says. It depends on how urgent matters are.
Excellent. They're not especially urgent. We can wait some time.
Excellent. I'll get those refreshments. And he gives you a weird, wide, creepy smile ear to ear, and then he closes the door.
He seems in a strange mood.
Very much so.
Dione's gonna follow him.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, while we're at it, Yune, you said, is going to go upstairs, Canas?
I think so.
Okay. Yune will stay outside of the room then, just to be have access, not be in a closed room.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll start to move. And says to you,
"You got it, Canas. I'll head upstairs right now. What am I looking for again?"
Well, we're looking for anything that could connect Lady Vactor to Strahd.
"If I see anything, I'll let you know, and maybe you could look through my eyes."
I think that's a phenomenal idea.
Great.
Does that change my... If I look through Yune's eyes and Ernst comes back in the room, would I know that Ernst was back in the room?
You wouldn't see him, but you would, like any other sense his presence. You could hear him, or it's not like you become Yune for a moment. You just see through her eyes.
Okay.
So, if somebody opens the door and says something, you would be aware that they're there, and you could, snap out of it if you want to.
Okay.
The way I envision it, and you actually could tell me if it's different for what you envisioned the character to do. I think of it as something like, like in Game of Thrones when Bram wargs through the animals.
Yes.
Like, I assume that you go like blank stare, like that's your focus. But if somebody were to like come up to you, he could snap out of it. He could be present if he needs to.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
You know what? I'm just going to put my hood up.
I'll position myself next to Canas in the room too, so I can gently tap him as needed if something happens in the room.
Right, you know what's going on, so
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll do. How about this? We'll do Dione first, and then Yune. So Dione, you head into the kitchen with Ernst, and you can see this is a preparing room. So they've got all different sorts of food out, tea kettle, and such. I'll also tell you a couple other things you see in here.
Sure.
So there's a wash basin that stands in the northeast corner. You can see a slender door to the west wall that leads into a small pantry, is what you assume. He even maybe goes into it to grab some, the tea leaves and such, and then we'll come back out and starts to prepare a little platter of, food for the guests. You see him preparing it, and again, all along, kind of smiling. And in fact, every so often, he even like chuckles to himself.
Creepy.
I need a
Okay.
stealth check though, with advantage, because you're trying to be sneaky and silent.
Yes. Okay, sounds good. Oh. Yeah. All right, so 27 on the stealth check.
Just for keep things legit here. I'm gonna roll a die.
Okay.
Okay. He seems to be preparing, blissfully unaware of your presence.
Okay. Yeah, part of my intention in following him was to see if he was actually gonna like do food prep things or if he was gonna go be sneaky and creepy and suspicious elsewhere. But all right, I see that he's legit. I'll scan the kitchen for any signs of like maybe like little miscellaneous items, maybe on the mantle of the fireplace, anything that looks like a crest or any handwriting, a little note, any sign of Strahd.
Sure. Give me
Yeah.
a perception check.
Sure. Okay, a 22.
You slowly tiptoe around the room, kind of like avoiding him as he walks by. You kind of like, wait and then move slowly and quickly, or slowly and silently through the kitchen, trying to avoid disturbing anything. You don't see anything that would be like incriminating evidence here, right? Like there's no like, oh, here's my letter to Strahd, nothing like that. But you do notice something on the prep table. He's got some weird unmarked vials that it looks like he's emptied into the teapot.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. And he just did this? Like I saw him empty the vials into the teapot?
You saw him preparing, but now that he went into the pantry to put like the tea leaves away, you go to the table and you see empty vials there.
I see. Okay, well then, nothing to collect here, so I will quickly scooch out. I know he's in the kitchen. So I'm gonna go to the door where I know my friends are. And I'll try and like whisper through the door, like, you hear me? I don't know,
Yeah.
like, if they are able to hear or what the quality of the construction of this door is in terms of sound isolation.
It's not a soundproof door. You could probably whisper into the crack of it and they might be able to hear. Yeah.
Can you just say, I hear you?
Hello.
What?
Okay, so
What?
Dione,
I can't hear you, Canas. Are you saying something?
Go upstairs.
Okay. Just go. All right, so Dione will say, Laurent, Canas, Rufus, if you can hear me, there is something in the tea. He has put something in the tea. Be careful.
Are we able to hear that clearly enough?
Give me a perception check.
Oh boy.
Oh, Lord.
I love tea.
I was never planning on drinking the tea to begin with.
I got
Tea and
20.
mooncakes, my
22.
secret favorites.
13.
Canas and Laurent heard it, but Rufus heard that they've got Earl Grey tea.
Oh, it's the favorite.
And the Gwaindire?
The bergamot grows so well.
Can I cast the message cantrip and finger guns the door and respond to Dione that we heard you and will avoid the tea? This is a message
Okay.
you can reply.
Oh, wow. Very nice. Okay, good. Stay safe. I will keep exploring. And then she goes.
Yeah, and you see Ernst still in the kitchen. Like when you go back to the middle passageway here, you can see Ernst still preparing, putting some small little sandwiches on a platter and such. He's also licks like every finger once he gets the mayo on his hands, licks every single one, and then still continues to make the sandwiches.
Mm.
Make sure I
Delightful.
lean towards Rufus and make sure he knows the tea is not to be trifled with, no matter how much bergamot there is.
But the sandwiches are awesome. So.
The sandwiches are to die for, and not in an ironic and malicious way.
So I just had breakfast, so I'm fine.
All right.
Yes, but second breakfast.
Yune heads upstairs.
Okay.
All right, Yune.
More stairs.
I'm just gonna. I think you can see through Yune's eyes, correct?
I can.
Okay. All right. So you see through Yune's eyes, and Yune gets up the stairs, and you're in this long hallway. You haven't been upstairs before, but you've heard that there's a bedroom door here somewhere that's has that girl behind it. You see a double door immediately to your left as you come up the stairs. And then you could see two other doors, single doors, down to the southwest of this hallway. Also, there's a couple of rooms beyond the stairs, but the doors all seem to be closed.
Let me wrap around this. Oh, there's a lot of doors here.
And you can see there's windows as well. One to the south, one to the north.
Okay.
What do you want to do?
The first thing I want to do is try to listen beside kind of each kind of door as I'm scanning down the area, just to see if I hear anything.
Canas, there are so many doors. Which one to go through?
Well, first we're listening.
All right. I don't know if I can steady my heartbeat enough.
Are you sure you're up for this task?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yune listens to the first door, the double doors. It's like the bigger one to the left. You want to just go in order, right?
I think so, yeah.
Give me perception checks. Just roll like 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I'm just gonna roll 5 d20s. Okay. We do get a +4 to all of them.
Okay.
So I think 3 of them seem good.
Okay. The first door looks like it's got a clear skeleton key locking mechanism on it. She listens to the door and she says,
I don't hear anything. It's so quiet up here. There's definitely nothing moving in this one.
if that was your one, correct? Your nat one?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
So
sorry,
quiet.
you said it looked like there was a key. There was something.
Yeah, like there.
Yeah, like there's a keyhole for like a key.
Okay.
Now she hasn't tested it, but there's clearly a locking mechanism on this door.
Yes.
The next one?
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask the next one?
Yes.
She listens. The door. And she says, I think I hear something.
I hear it. It's a cat. It's making purring sounds, and I can hear it meowing.
Okay, perfect. Do not go in that one.
Give me a stealth check for Yune to see if she could be silent with advantage because she's invisible.
+5, so a 19.
19? Okay. Yeah.
It sounds like the cat is right here at the door. I can hear something rubbing up against it.
Strange. Go to the next door.
What was the number on this one?
An 18.
Oh yeah, I hear something. It sounds like a man. Yeah, it's a man. He's saying something. I can't really make it out, but almost like he's moaning.
Goodness. That's odd.
He might be injured.
All right.
It also looks locked, Canas.
Sorry?
Got a lock on it. All these doors have had locks. Oh wait, here's one that doesn't.
And at the bottom of the corridor, you can see that there's what looks like maybe a closet. It definitely doesn't look like the size of a normal door. It doesn't have a lock on it.
Okay.
There's nothing here, Canas. I don't hear anything from this one. Ooh.
All right. And how about this fifth door?
It's all quiet. All quiet.
Can you quietly open that fourth door? Does Yune know it's a closet?
You can tell her.
You could tell her.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna start looking through the guys.
Sure. Yeah, you can see it's a closet. She can open it. It's easy to open. It's a storage room. There is, let's see. Yeah, it looks like it's like a linen closet. It's got like just sheets, blankets, supplies for the house, common stuff. Nothing really.
Right. And now I'm gonna move to the last door. And I will try to open it quietly.
It is locked. It is locked.
Of course. Yeah. Of course.
Dione, did you want to come upstairs as well? Dione?
You're muted.
Sorry, thank you. I was saying, I assume I've seen the entire first floor. There aren't any additional rooms that.
Well, there
we
are.
haven't
Like,
seen.
there are. If you want to go, like, there's in this lounge room, there's a door to the north. In the kitchen, there was another door to the north. But again, it looked like it was more of a storage, room. So I don't know if you want to check those places out, but that's up to you.
Yeah, I feel like, at least initially, like I have a sense of time pressure, so I'll go upstairs because I feel like the private documents are probably upstairs.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll go up there.
I'll move you to the next floor.
Thank you.
You can come up and see Yune. Well, you don't see Yune.
Do I see? Oh, okay.
You don't see her because she's
Right.
invisible. You're invisible. Yune just doesn't know you're here either.
Great. And we're both so stealthy.
Yunes, I wish I was. I wish Dione was here.
Dione's wondering, I wish I wasn't alone.
Um,
Okay.
Yune starts sniffling.
You can hear a sniffling, and then you hear a girl from that door that you remember, Dione. This door right here, the third door, second door in the row here. You hear a little girl's voice say to you, "Who's there? Little kitty is sad and lonely."
I've been silent, right? I haven't made noise. She's saying this in response to Yune sniffling?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I will go to where I hear the sniffling coming from.
Canas, I've been spotted. The cat saw me.
A cat? What cat?
There's a cat. It just told me that little kitty is sad and lonely.
Oh,
I assume.
well,
Can little kitty come out to play?
fly in a
Little
different
kitty
direction.
is sad and wants to play. Little kitty promises to be good this time. She really does.
I assume Dione can't hear any of this, yeah? I mean, like Yune's side.
Right, Yune's speaking telepathically,
Okay.
but her sniffles were out loud.
Okay. Then Dione will just whisper, Yune, is that you? Yune, if that is you. Shh.
It's me, Dione.
Oh, thank God. Oh,
Let
okay.
little kitty out to play, please. I'll be a good kitty this time.
Ignore the creepy girl. Do not open the door.
Let me out. I'll be good.
Yune, do you have any leads? Do you know which door might be a good place to check first?
This door's locked. I can't get in.
No problem. And Dione will take out her thieves' tools as quietly as she can. Try to get that door open.
Go ahead, give me a sleight of hand check.
All right, a 21.
It actually should be a little higher technically because when you use it with your thieves' tools, it would count as you're proficient with it. So you'd add your proficiency, but no worries. It's still more than good enough. You take out your thieves' tools. Oh, 24. Oh, even better. Yeah. You take your thieves' tools and you work your magic here. You easily open this door. It looked like a fine lock, but for the likes of Dione, not too bad. You can hear the click as the mechanism unlocks.
Canas, it's Dione, and she opened the door across from the closet.
Oh, perfect. Work
You want to
together.
see through my eyes?
Yes.
Okay, and then
Okay.
I'll slowly crack the door open, making sure there's no one in there. And then if it's clear, then I'll open it a little bit more so we can get in.
Move yourselves in.
Oh,
Okay. Across from the door, a fire sputters and struggles for life in the hearth, above which hangs a framed family portrait, a noble father and mother, their 2 younger sons, and a baby daughter in the father's arms. The sons are smiling in a way that suggests mischief, no doubt a younger version of Carl and Nikolai. The parents look like uncrowned royalty. Wood paneling covers the walls of this room. A closet and a framed mirror flank the curtained window to the south. To the north, you can see a wide, canopied bed that lies pinned between the matching ends of the tables with oil lamps. Stretched out to one side of the bed is a man dressed in black, his eyes each covered with a copper piece. He bears a striking resemblance to the father in the painting. You see this, Canas, through the eyes of Yune. And at this moment, Ernst walks into the room. Tea for everyone. tea and sandwiches. And he comes in and lays them down on the little table there at the corner of the room, but next to Rufus. And you want to shake him out, Laurent? Shake him out of his vision?
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
All right.
He's got to be back here with us now.
Oh, you all look so serious. Remind me, wasn't there someone else with your party before? A stout dwarf?
They weren't feeling well this morning. We had a late night putting out fires, as you can imagine, and they just needed the extra snooze in this morning, so to speak.
Yes. You know what they say the full moon can do to people. And he lays down
Hopefully
the
not
platter.
light fires.
He lays down the platter. You, Canas, you look like you've seen a ghost. Is everything all right?
Ghost? No, it's just. Again, I'm just wondering if your brother's all right.
Oh, don't worry about Brodimir. He's tough. Growing up, he was always the one getting injured and always came out through it. He'll be fine. Just a couple of too many knocks to the head. That's why I chose this line of work. Much easier than dealing with children.
He was quite unwell the other day.
Smoke inhalation, you know. I'm sure that our people have discovered that by now.
I would really like to speak with him. Do you know where he is? Or where he went?
Silly
I assume
me.
You must be close.
Silly me. I didn't mention this when you came in. He and Lady Vactor went to sort out things at the orphanage this morning.
Ah, I see.
Yes, they're probably there now, but leaving soon, I would assume. Shame. All those children need someone to organize and run that place again. I think my brother might be up to the task.
I would be ashamed to leave him up to the task. He wasn't feeling 100% after so much smoke inhalation, you know.
It's a good thing there were some good Samaritans. Definitely a term that would be here in D&D, of course. Good upstanding citizens that stepped up and took care of those children the last few days. But they'll need full-time support, no doubt. I'm sure a lady will talk to you about it.
Sure, we'll be
Please.
looking forward to hearing her insights on the problem.
The tea. He pours tea for everybody, hands you each a glass, puts the sandwiches out on a plate. He stands there almost like looking to see you eat. I prepared them myself, the sandwiches.
None for you.
Certainly. I've already had my cup of tea, but he takes a sandwich and devours it. Delicious. Go on.
I, too, will pick up a sandwich and devour it.
I'll grab a sandwich.
I'll grab a sandwich too and
You pick up the sandwiches and mayo just drips out of it.
I was going to say, these sandwiches are so dry. If only there was some tea, but that's not a problem at all.
Delicious.
That's all they got here. It's mayo and cucumber sandwiches.
Oh, gross. Finger sandwiches.
We grow the cucumbers right out back. You can see from the window. And Tim, just going to move your character. You can see, the garden there.
Oh yeah.
See that?
Look at that.
It looks overrun with weeds, but there's some things growing in there for sure.
Some very good cucumbers.
Yeah.
Can I smell the tea?
You can. Give me a perception check, yeah. Mm-hmm.
$18.
Something's off. It doesn't smell like the bergamot, the oil that you had back in the Gwaindire. Something's off with it, clearly.
Even.
Yeah.
Okay. I motion at people. No tea. No tea.
I will go to pick up a teacup and just feign accidentally dropping it on the ground and making a mess. And oh my god!
Oh dear. Oh dear.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to stain the carpets in your parlor. dear as me. You know,
Let me
just
clean that up for
shaky
you.
hands. Thank you.
Let me clean that up. He goes, I'll be right back. He goes out to get some supplies, a mop or something. He goes to clean it.
Toss my tea out the window.
In the garden.
So delicious.
Just the liquid though.
Yeah, just the liquid.
Not the cup.
No.
It's not so obvious, but you dump it out on the cucumber plants outside and they just wither immediately.
Oh, really?
Do they really?
No.
Like a
Can you
cartoon.
imagine? Like a cartoon.
Like the old Bugs Bunny, the triple X jug pulled on the plants, they just immediately die.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's not that obvious, but no, you dump it outside the window. Okay, great. Dione, back up top. Canas has lost connection with Yune, so he's not seeing through the vision right now. But Yune says to you,
What's wrong with that man?
I think he may no longer be with us.
"What do you want to
You
do,
see-
Dione?"
Okay. Do I recognize this person or anyone in that portrait of the family? Do I know these people at all?
You do, Lady Wachter. It's all maybe like 10 years ago pictures, so like everybody looks a little bit younger, a little bit more vibrant. But she's the mother in the picture. Maybe more than 10 years, maybe like 15 years ago. Yeah, 15 years ago. The two sons are clearly Carl and Nikolai when they were teenagers, or like 13, adolescent. And then there's a baby in the father's arms. It looks like she's like 1 or so,
Okay, gotcha. Okay. Then I guess to me it looks like this person in the bed is deceased. Can I just listen to see if I can hear a heartbeat?
Sure. Give me a medicine check if you're looking for like a medical sign of things. If you want, you can also give me Arcana. You can do both.
Oh. Sure, I'll do an Arcana check. Why not? See how that goes. Oh! All right then. A 23. A nat 20.
Nat 20, you say.
Yeah.
This man is dead, without a doubt. He is not breathing. He has no pulse. It's pretty easy to tell. Though he does not nearly look like he's not decomposing. He's not in any sort of like stage of death. He looks like he's peacefully sleeping.
Okay. Then I'll tell Yune, if you are able to speak to Canas, I think this may be Lady Wachter's deceased husband. It looks like he is no longer living, but for some reason his body is here, in pretty good condition. It is not decomposed. I don't know what magic is happening here. So I'll relay that to Yune, and then since this guy's dead anyway, I'm just gonna go through the end tables, shuffle through any drawers, anything that might be there.
Sure. There's also a closet door just here between the window and the fireplace.
Perfect. So after I check the end tables, then I'll check the closet as well. Again, looking for the same thing, just like documents or any evidence of involvement with Strahd or knowledge of the orphanage.
Yep. All right, so give me a perception check, see if you can notice anything in here.
Sure. Okay, a 24.
Inside the closet, you can see lots of shelves, fancy footwear, many fine garments. You can see a black ceremonial-looking robe with a hood. You see a high shelf. There's an iron chest. It looks like it has a lock mechanism on it. It's sitting there. It's small, a small chest. Like you could easily lift it. But you're short, so it might be hard to do. Yune might need to help you with that. But it's there up top. You also see anything else here? Nope, that's about it.
Does the black robe have any embroidery or any insignias on it that would indicate part of a group that I
No,
can see?
nothing. Mm-mm.
No. Okay.
No.
Then yes, I do want to check out that iron chest.
Sure.
Um,
You
you
pull it
name.
down.
Oh, I pull it down. Okay, cool. I pull it down.
I'll get it for you.
And she flies up. Again, both of you are invisible, so it's hard to tell where everybody is. Like she says, "I'll help you," from like across the room. She comes over, slowly, drags it off the shelf, and you catch it. Combined effort to get it off the shelf. You look around the room. You do notice on top of the fireplace is a skeleton key. Looks like it could potentially fit this chest. It's there, and you're standing right next to the fireplace, so it's pretty noticeable.
Okay, great. Then I'll just snag that skeleton key. But before I snag it, I'm just gonna like put a piece of cloth between my hand and the key so as to not leave any fingerprints or residue or scent.
Okay.
Grab the key. Open the chest if I can.
It does seem to open the chest, and as you do, a poison needle shoots out at you. Give me a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. I do have poison resistance.
Yep.
Which is nice. But yes, okay. That's 15.
All right. So, this poison tip needle comes out at you, but I think you're able to avoid it in this case. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Can it hit Yune? Damage immunity is poison.
No, I'm not. It's
Condition
not gonna hit
immunity
you,
is
Nate.
poison.
It's only the person that opens. Oh, I did it wrong. I'm sorry. I have
Ouch.
to roll to hit you. I apologize. I have to roll to hit you. What's your armor class right now?
Oh, me?
Yeah, I did it wrong. It's not a dexterity saving throw. It's a to hit.
Oh, okay. No worries. 15. AC.
You are gonna get hit.
Okay.
Okay. You have. I think you have a what is the rogue ability that lets you like take less damage or something like that? Does that count? Not evasion, because that's like the one that like helps you with the saving throw check. But there's one that like when you take damage. I can't remember what it's called. Maybe I'm wrong.
Uncanny dodge.
That one. Yeah. What does that let you do?
Yes. When I can see the attack, use your reaction to have the attack's damage against you.
Okay. You might want to use that now. I'm going to tell you what happens here. You're poisoned.
Okay.
So from this point on, no, now you have to give me a con check. You'll have No. Do you have advantage against poison as being a Duergar?
Yes. Advantage
so
to
then-
avoid or end the poison condition.
Okay, so give me a advantage con check.
Okay. Woof. Less the advantage. Okay, so that's 19.
Okay, so you're actually going to be fine. You don't have the poison condition. You are going to take 17 poison damage. Since you're resistant to it, it'll half it to, what is that, 8? 8. So it's up to you if you want to use Uncanny Dodge or save it. I don't know. I guess you might as well use it, so be 4.
Yeah, might as well use it. Why not?
Yeah. Of any person to open this trap, you're probably the best one. So
Woo! All right.
Yune's
All
like,
right.
Oh my gosh. Are you okay?
Totally fine. This is nothing.
Does Yune just see a poison dart sticking out of the air?
Canas. Dione's been struck. I think she's dying.
I'm fine.
Dione's okay. Check the double door now that you're with Dione, if she can get into these areas.
Yune confirms she'll do that. Dione, you open the chest, though. You notice that it's lined with lead. And you also notice that the only contents are a set of bones. All right, a set of bones. Yep.
Oh, that's it. Oh, okay.
No, I have more to tell you here.
Gotcha.
And the pommel of a sword. It's odd. It's just the handle. There's no blade attached. But the pommel itself is rather magnificent. It's made of gold entirely. It looks like it almost shines with a radiance all on its own.
Wow.
But the bones of St. Andrews.
That's what I was thinking. Okay, great. Then I'm gonna take all of the above. And I guess the pommel I'll just like toss into my pack. The bones I'll put into like their own little pouch, secure it, and then stash it away. The poison needle I want to like pull it out of wherever it's stuck to, and then I'll put it back inside the box. If I see the trap mechanism, maybe I'll like try to rearm it. But otherwise, I'll just like toss it back in the box and then replace the chest where I found it.
So what are you taking it? I'm sorry, I lost track of that.
Oh, no worries. Both the pommel and the bones. I just want to take all of it.
Okay, so there's a sack that's being carried now. The pommel, I would say, if you put it in your bag, it disappears. Do you want to put the sack of bones? Could you put that in your bag? Yeah, probably.
Yeah. How many bones is it like a full human skeleton? Like,
yeah.
Wow. In a little chest? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, maybe it's not like like this, but it'd be like, a small trunk. Like one that one person could easily hold.
Okay. Oh, it's a TARDIS trunk. All right, then I will I guess like do I remember, sorry, like the bones of St. Andrews, do they need all of the bones for the protective mechanism? Or is
You're
it
not
like
quite sure.
toe
You're not
bone?
quite sure, but I mean, you have all the bones of this skeleton here, though.
Okay. All right. Well, then I'll take whatever I can comfortably fit into my pack without encumbering myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And then I'll leave the rest in there.
Okay, great. There is something though that cloak. There's no like embroidery on it that says like any sort of there's a symbol or something like that, but it's very similar to what Lady Madame Vermeer was wearing that night. It's a very similar cloak.
Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, if I'm invisible, then everything on my person is also invisible.
Right.
So it doesn't matter if I have a giant bulky Santa sack, like it'll be invisible anyway. So, all right, I will take the robe and I will dump all the bones into it and then kind of like fold up the edges so it forms like a sack around the bones.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I'll tie it off and just carry that with me.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. And let's see. Is there anything else in this room here? No, I think that's about it.
Okay.
You see a mirror. That's the only other thing you haven't really checked out in this room. This is the mirror.
Okay. I guess I walk by it, glance in. Does it look like a normal mirror at a quick glance?
Yeah. It seems like a normal mirror. Yeah. Like I mean, it's a full mirror, full-bodied mirror here. Yeah. Yeah, you see it. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any strange engravings around the edges?
No, it's gold inlaid with some sort of like design, but nothing that would cause you any second glance here.
Okay. And then before I leave the room, I do want to go back over to the body of
the guy,
Sir Wachter. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what he would have preferred to go by. And then just like look him over to see if there might be anything in any of his pockets. Yeah, anything like that. Or even if there's like something on the copper pieces on his eyes, actually no, I guess that would just be like money.
Yeah, it's money.
Well,
there's nothing there's nothing on him of value. He has maybe like a fancy dress on, like he's dressed like he would he's wearing black clothes actually. He's wearing they're fancy clothes though. Look, it's similar to maybe like the cloak that you taken, like in that same vein. It's like that, the ceremonial black clothes.
Okay. But nothing in his pockets.
No,
Probably.
nothing of value is on him except for maybe the
Okay.
coins in his eyes.
Okay.
But yeah.
Then I'll just leave those. And yeah, Yune, I think we have seen everything there is to see here. I'm ready to go.
Let's go. Let's get out of here. All right. All right, we'll go back down to the basement here. Yune says to Canas,
Canas, we're not finding anything. We found some weird stuff, some bones, the pommel of a sword. That's about it.
You found the bones of St. Andrew's.
Oh, I have no idea. There are bones in a bag.
Oh, they must have been the bones of St. Andrew's.
It might be. Is this evidence enough?
Hold on. Ernst is not in the room still, right?
correct,
Yes.
his token's not there yet.
Uh,
He went to get, like, cleaning supplies to clean up the tea.
Rufus, Laurent, it appears that they have found the bones of St. Andrew's in the house. And do you believe that that is sufficient evidence? I'm not sure.
How are the bones stored?
How are the bones stored?
In a chest, lined with lead, locked,
In a lead chest, locked,
Lead.
trapped with
Lead.
poison. Dione almost died.
trapped with poison. Dione almost died.
Lead would protect the bones, stop the bones from exerting their influence. Were there any symbols of the Morning Lord in the chest? Any radiant symbols?
Were there any symbols of the Morning Lord or the
There's a
radiant
sword
symbols?
pommel, and it
A
looks
sword-
radiant.
A radiant sword pommel.
This is why, when we found those bones in the bag, they didn't work. We must have found the wrong bones. This is exciting indeed.
But is it sufficient evidence? Or should we just get out of here?
Well, no one knows about the bones except for the father who is now dead.
Yes,
He
the
told us.
deceased. Mm-hmm.
So
Father,
perhaps we need more
whatever his name,
evidence.
whatever his name was.
We should definitely take the bones.
Father
Perhaps we need
Lucia.
more evidence.
The Keepers of the Feather made it sound like the city was already kind of a tinderbox of rebellion anyway. This is definitely the spark that could push it over the edge.
Right, like if she managed to steal the bones and now Strahd had free reign, that would be a spark.
This would be damning evidence that she is in fact in league with Strahd and should be overthrown.
And we seem to have been able to do this undiscovered, so perhaps we should leave.
But
Yes.
none of the townsmen know about the bones.
They will when we tell them.
Wasn't there one person who knew about the bones?
Father Lucian
Milovaj, he's dead.
and Mizovaj,
Well,
who we
damn.
killed.
I mean, it's not like the bones of St. Angel aren't something that some
Known.
people would know of. It's just that they didn't know that they
We're removed.
were removed or kept people safe. It's that they didn't know that that was a thing. So if this is revealed, maybe they would take that as that way. But that's up to you. Yune is saying,
I'm scared, Canas. And that girl is creeping me out.
Maybe it's time to fly to the Blue Water, and I think Dione can take it from here.
Okay, I'll see you there.
Stay safe.
I think it's also time for us to either
Skedaddle.
escort Dione out invisibly or have her leave and then us leave expediently too.
Yes, I'm so excited to have found these bones. I wish to inspect them with my own eyes.
Dione, you can come back downstairs and rejoin the group. Ernst comes back and helps clean up the tea. And, it's up to you how you want to proceed. But Ernst is in the room, and Dione, you can be in the lounge. Do you want to tell the group anything before Ernst gets there?
I did not hear Yune's exchange with Canas, right? I have no idea what they
No.
know.
Yune could have
Alright.
told you, though. Yune could have told you upstairs.
Okay, fair. Then I assume that I know everything they spoke about. Okay. I have a robe, I have bones, I have this pommel. I am not sure what they are, but perhaps this is enough. I'm ready to go whenever.
All right, all right. I've got the cleaning. I've got the mop. Here we go. Here we go. Ernst comes in, cleans it up.
Okay, Ernst. Is Lady Vakana back yet?
Oh, hang on a second. He says, Lady Wagner is not here, but it's interesting that... Oh, wait, hold on a second. He says, I think you're here up to no good, aren't you? He looks at all of you, like his demeanor changes completely. Yeah, that's right. You're not the only one with spies around the house. Oh, is that so? Interesting. Well, if that's the case, he says, then you'll all be staying here waiting for the lady to come home. You're not leaving now.
No, I think we will leave.
We don't have time to stay. I'm sorry.
We'll see you later.
He says,
Thanks.
I'm not
Thanks for the tea. It was delicious.
I'm not letting you leave, as he stands by the door.
When I glance at the garden window to see if there's an escape that way,
There is, yeah. Mm-hmm.
and I'll say, we will just leave through this window, and I'll start to leave through the window.
Give me perception checks.
Me too, or
Yeah, and you get advantage on it, Dione.
oh.
17 for Laurent.
Oh, 20.
Ugh, 6.
Okay, I have a 21.
Rufus and Dione hear some very faint whispers. It's coming very close to Ernst's head. Something is talking to him.
We can't see it now.
No, there's nothing there, but something is talking to him. You're
Can
getting
I
the
walk
sense
up?
that it's similar to like how Yune can be next to Dione and talking to her and not being able to say anything. Or not being able to see anything. Excuse me.
Can I, let's see. Okay, if I stand here, then I have access to the kitchen and the front door. Can I use Mage Hand to send something on the table clattering to the floor, like
Absolutely.
something loud and light, like silverware plates?
You can dump a platter onto the floor that has everything on it.
Perfect, perfect. So I'll kind of like send that flying, making a loud crashing sound, and then I'll step aside into the little foyer area. I'm kind of hoping that Ernst comes running, and then the other guys have a moment to escape out the window.
You hear Ernst say, like he jolts back. He's like, "What? Who's there?" And he says to something on his shoulder, "Get the lady now." And you hear the fluttering of wings as something flies out this window here. And he says, "You're not going anywhere."
I'm gonna pull out the sword of the Burgomaster and say, out of the way now.
Give me an intimidation check.
"14.
All right. Look, I'm an old man. I'm no match for all of you. But you've messed up. Her little spy heard everything you said in this room. Now, if you'd like, I can cover for you in a way. Yes, we can make a deal. A deal.
What sort
That's
of
it.
deal?
Well, how much gold do you have?
Out of the way, dog. Now."
He says, fine. Leave me be.
let's go. Right, I move to leave.
Yeah.
Move yourselves.
Follow Rufus out.
Move your
Okay.
tokens.
Yeah, I'll go out the front and then skirt around the outside of the house, hoping to reconvene.
I'm gonna
Okay.
turn on the way out to Ernst, and I'm gonna say, perhaps you should think about your allegiances over the next day. I don't know
I
if
know.
you're following the right path.
I know what
Ernst.
you did to my brother. I know. He told me all about it.
Your brother is on the path to good, so can you be.
He sneers at you. He says, "Get out. Out. Out! I never want to see you here again."
Goodbye, Ernst.
All right. The group leaves the Wachterhouse. It's still early morning, probably something around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, something like that in that hour. And you try to get out of sight quickly, get into an alleyway, duck into a lesser-known path to the Blue Water Inn. But eventually, you get back, and you see Irina and Camilla. They're sitting down in the tavern room. Camilla's very solemn, sad. Irina says, "Oh, thank goodness you're back." Camilla was unable to say goodbye to her sister. We arrived and we saw that Lady Vactor and Ernst were there. We didn't want to jeopardize anything, so we decided it was best not to say goodbye.
Are you sure it was Ernst, or was it possibly Brodomir?
Sorry, Brodomir. Excuse me. She says Brodomir. Sorry. I get the two mixed up so many times.
They look so alike.
They're like twins.
What was the lady doing there? Could you tell?
I couldn't tell. She was out in the courtyard. They were looking about. Yulia was there. So was Angelica. Angelica seemed quiet, almost frightened, but Yulia was explaining something about what happened the day of the fire. I think that's what they're saying, that there was a fire. Something like that. But we could only hear from a distance, and Camilla's very upset right now. She looks over across the tap room. You can see Camilla there, just like head down in her hands. Look, she's coming with us. She's determined. But her sister may be in danger. All the more reason why we need to defeat Strahd quickly. We need to get out of here. We need to get on the road. There's hope in Kresk. I know of it. What did you find?
Yes, I agree completely, but we need to talk to the keepers of the feather.
We do.
Erwin will come in. You can head down to his office and explain. Erwin says, "Well, did you find anything?"
Yes. I step forward. I assume Dione's not invisible anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh God, where are you, Dione?
Erwin, before she shows him anything, do you know anything about Saint Andrel?
The church?
The bones.
Yes, the bones are interned in the chapel, beneath the chapel.
Well, you should know.
Do you know their purpose?
No, enlighten me.
Well, Father
Lucian.
Father Lucian entrusted us with information about the bones before he passed. That their primary purpose was to protect this town from Strahd.
Is that so? And it works?
Well,
I don't think it works. He laughs. He chuckles to himself.
No.
as it happens, when we arrived, the bones had recently been stolen.
Father Lucian told you this?
He did. And then he kind of nods to Dione. Show him.
Yes. I found these bones in Lady Wachter's house. They were hidden very, very carefully. I think these may be what we have been looking for. And
They were-
Dione like sets down the
sack.
I guess black robe.
They
Yeah,
were
yeah.
put in a thick lead chest. And it was trapped with poison, you said.
Yes.
The lead would inhibit the magic.
Mm,
That's how
he
Strahd
says.
got in that night.
Hidden under lock and key, he says. He whispers, like mutters it to himself as he like looks at the bones. And when he does that, you all start to remember something. That phrase triggers something.
Oh.
You look back to maybe either the notes or you remember a memory in the Vistani camp when you met Madame Ava. Those words were spoken.
Here we go. Look for wealthy woman keeps weapon under lock and key, under bones of an ancient enemy.
Yep, and I'll read it exactly just as the
Ally
memory.
of the devil.
Right, just as the
I
memory
got
comes
it,
back,
yeah.
I'll read it exactly to you. It said it was the 9 of glyphs, and you could almost hear Madame Ava's words, her voice coming to you. Look for a wealthy woman, a staunch ally of the devil. She keeps the treasure under lock and key with the bones of an ancient enemy. And that memory that's ingrained in your mind, that comes to you as the words under lock and key come out of Erwin's mouth.
Is the sword visible?
There is no sword. It's just the handle.
The hilt.
Right.
Well,
So
I'm gonna grab the handle at this point.
Oh, right. The
Hold
memory
it-
comes
hold it
back, and
aloft.
Dione says, "Oh, of course, the treasure." And then she pulls it out. Rufus, perhaps you would know about this. And she'll hand the pommel to you, Rufus.
I'll hold it up and say, Rain Lord, inspire me. Infuse me with your will.
Yeah, and just as you maybe expect, because this was supposed to be some sort of weapon to hurt the devil. A sword made of pure sunlight is what it was described to you by Madame Ava. Nothing happens. It doesn't feel magical to you. You get no sense of connection with it. You don't get the sense that you could attune to it. It seems like it is just simply the pommel. But again, it almost looks like the golden handle has rays of sunlight ingrained with it. It's hard to tell exactly, but almost like it's like where the sword would be, like where it would start, rays of light are ingrained on the pommel coming out from it. But you sense no magic in it. I mean, you don't cast detect magic or anything like that, but it doesn't seem like anything other than a mundane piece of metal to you.
Perhaps this is but a piece of the weapon. Erwin, we are more certain than ever at this point that Lady Vactor is an ally of the devil, Strahd.
We've done our part.
You think these bones will be enough?
I think that us keepers can, at the very least, spin a tale that could tell that story. It's a shame that Father Lucian is dead to not confirm it, but I think we can make it believable, he says. But this, he says, you should take with you. He clasps your hands around the sword pommel, Rufus.
I think it might aid us. I will take it.
You've done well, he says. You've done all that you can. And now we just leave it up to the people.
All right.
I wish you good luck on your journeys. If you're headed far from here, just know that you always have a home in Vallaki.
Please be careful, Erwin. It seems that Lady Vactor had spies, and one of her spies may be telling her and Broadmere right now what transpired in that house.
You will have to act with swiftness.
And we must leave swiftly so as not to be seen here.
Evgeny will be your guide. Good luck. All right.
To Kresk.
To Kresk.
Are you guys sure you have no other business here?
Danica says, oh yeah, one last thing.
No, Danica, we must leave.
Well, you're headed that way anyway. We still haven't heard word if we're getting any of our wine back. very limited amounts of it now.
Hmm.
If you happen to see Erwin's father again, please let him know. We desperately need the wine. If he needs help, we're going to have to do something drastic.
We will certainly pass along the message to Erwin's father.
All right. The group heads out. Yevgeny leading the way. He starts telling some tall tale of how him and what's his name? Zoldar went on a hunting trip once, and their tales that they got caught up in. And you head out the western gate.
Now,
Finally.
Yevgeny. Before we head to Kresk, we may need to take a detour.
Oh yes, where do you want to head?
Well, have you ever heard of a tower off to the west?
I think I know what you mean. Yes, a tower far in the woods. It's abandoned, of course.
Well, it may not be abandoned anymore.
Yevgeny likes the way you think. We will find this tower. Leave it to me. And that is where we'll end it for this week. What a game. What a game.
Exciting.
Excellent
Oh,
job.
we're leaving, guys. I don't want to play anymore.
You finally
God.
left Verlaki,
Hey.
as Rufus would say.
Bob, you know what you forgot to do?
No, what'd I forget?
Go to Grayscale.
We were in Grayscale the whole time.
We were in Grayscale.
It just
Oh.
came out.
Darn
We just
it.
came out.
I thought we were in color the whole time.
No. No.
Look. Come on. Look. Going
Look back at
to
the YouTube.
scene.
Yeah, you're in Grayscale.
My eyes are playing tricks on me. I just want to be in color so bad.
It's like he's
Trying to
in the
escape
Giver.
Barovia.
He's in the
What?
Giver. Everything is black and white now. His whole life.
And my Andrew and I and Vecna were in Barovia.
Oh yeah, we didn't mention that. They're characters that they're not playing. They're Strahd characters, obviously, because those characters are not a part of Vecna. But their characters from previous games are in Barovia for Vecna Eve of Ruin. So it's a double dose of Barovia,
I
everybody.
can't leave.
They can't. Stay tuned. We've got another awesome episode coming next week, so be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. Make sure you get notified whenever we go live with a new video. Like this video. Comment down below if you're watching this even after the live stream. Comment to help the YouTube gods. And until next time, we'll see you all on the tabletop. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.